Today I'm joined by two girls who go by the names of Lizzie and Catherine, and yes, they are the amazing Wall Thomas. Firstly, thank you for taking the time to speak to Nashville Worldwide. It's greatly appreciated. Been trying to get to talk to you for quite some time, so it's a big deal for us.
Oh, well, thank you for having us.
Now, the Black Deer Festival, it's been a long time coming. It got cancelled, all the hassle of it being cancelled, and of course, all the stress for you guys of preparing and not actually doing the gig. How did that hit you at the time?
I think we're the same as everyone. I think we just were disappointed because it's such a great festival, and you just, when we were here, we were doing we came back here to do an interview before, only a week before the festival was going to happen, and then we were like, oh, we really respected that they were going to go ahead with it, and we were like, oh, it's gonna.
It was this hope that felt so exciting, and then it was really gutting.
And you're like, oh, clinging on to normality is just around the corner again. COVID is it going to be in the past now? Is it just But yeah, it was that was the feeling of oh God, it's still got in the way again. But
so being here now in 2022 is clearly a big treat for everybody.
Yes.
Is it as big a treat for the artists as it is for the festival goers?
Oh, I definitely think so. For us, I mean, playing festivals is a completely different type of gig to playing a show where people have bought tickets. You're winning over a brand new audience. You're in front of people that might have never heard of you. You've got a 20-minute or an hour slot to really go for it, and everyone's up for it. And it's that kind of energy is so unique. And we've been deprived of it really for the last 2 years, both as punters and as performers. So we are absolutely itching to get out there today.
So you are actual festival goers, not just festival performers?
Yeah, well, sometimes. It depends on the festival. Black Deer would definitely be a festival I would go to.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm sure the Black Deer would love to hear that as well. So, okay, so on the back of that, do you prefer the smaller venues, or do you prefer the big festivals where you can really hit it for that hour?
I think they're so different. You can't even compare them, because I think you just get a different thing, a different vibe because the audiences are all different, and it depends on, if you're in a small venue, and it depends if it's a Tuesday night, the audience might be a bit different to going to a festival, and it's Saturday night and everyone's really rowdy. So you either get a rowdy audience, or you get a very intimate kind of listening audience. So it's very different, and I think, but we both like both for very different reasons.
Now, obviously, your choice of venues sometimes for your own gigs, not festivals, but for your own gigs, are sometimes quite interesting, like St George's Chapel in Brighton.
Yeah.
How did you come about being in that venue? Because it's an old church with amazing acoustics.
Well, to be honest, it is more up to our agent than anything, and we sometimes turn up to gigs and go, this is not what I was expecting, and sometimes they're the best gigs ever, and sometimes we go to a venue and we go, oh my goodness, this is so different. And the last tour that we did, we wanted it to be an intimate, very unfiltered, the caption was the unfiltered tour. We wanted it to be very stripped back and very about the stories of the songs. So churches and theatres were our aim. And so we reworked a lot of the songs to fit that kind of vibe, whereas a festival, it's very different. It's
whammy.
Full whammy. The bigger the sound, the better. So
I do remember at that particular gig, being that it was a church, I believe you, Lizzie, made a few faux pas.
The thing is, if someone tells you not to swear, it's impossible not.
Yeah, they come
It's
straight
impossible
out.
to not swear, because
there was a few religious-based comments, I believe.
Oh, I remember that too. Yeah, and they just come out.
It all just comes out, and it's like word vomit, isn't it?
Even to the point that when you apologised, you used another one.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember that. That was that was maybe the last show of the whole tour, apart from our London gig. So
yes, I think it was. Yeah.
We were driving home that night. We were going out with a bang. We were excited.
It was a
about that
great
show.
gig, and you were feet from the altar, weren't you?
Yes,
literally. We felt so close to the audience, and that was really lovely.
The sound in that place was amazing. And
Yeah.
your voices, your harmonies in that place really worked so well.
Oh, thank you.
Now, your musical journey has transformed the sound of your music greatly. On the first album, From Where We Stand, you were quite country.
Yeah.
And now you are Wall Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. It's because it's impossible to put you in any pigeonhole.
Right.
So
Do you know what? I'm
you are
glad
just
you
Will
said that.
Thomas.
I think
I'm glad
that's a
you
huge
said
compliment.
that. It's a huge compliment to us because we've never liked to pigeonhole ourselves and our music. When we approach writing songs or going into the production room, we don't want to be like we're a country artist or we're a Americana artist. We write literally music that we love and we're
And that's so
influenced by.
eclectic, yeah.
And we love loads of country music and all sorts of other music as well. So
I mean, we've grown up so much. Like when we released From Where We Stand, we were 20, and we've now.
we were set 18. From where
Well,
we
we
stand,
started.
we were really young.
Well, we started writing that when we were 17, 18.
Wow.
So we've sort of changed our sound as we go because we've grown up and wanted to try different things. But we always end up back at the country thing because that's where we
So
love.
when you started, was your intention to start with an album that sounded very country, or was that just a start that just happened?
Well, at the time, we were massive Dixie Chicks fans, and so we were and Taylor Swift as well, and her country stuff. So we were very influenced. What we were listening to at the time was very much a lot of country music, and so we were very influenced. And we grew up on a farm. We loved the countryside. So I think we had all aspects, and our harmonies and our vocals are very naturally country.
Absolutely.
We were in a choir at school as well, and she was out there, a classical choir. I was soprano, that's where we kind of learnt how to harmonise.
Yeah.
And then we were like, our voices do not fit
Yeah,
in the
whatever we
classical
sing
world as well
feels
as
country.
Yeah.
Like we can't help but make things sound country by how we, and the music we listen to is country, so it always ends up back in that sort of rootsy vibe with whatever we put on top production.
Even when we've written a real pop song,
Yeah.
it still sounds country.
Has a country twang to it
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly.
Now, you recorded Don't Be a Stranger with Cam,
Yes.
who is very country.
She is.
How was that recording? How did that go? Because I'm guessing it was done remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was such a random thing because we really wanted to duet with Cam on that song, and we didn't really know how to go about it because we'd already released the version with just us, and we had the second verse. We were like, it'd be so cool to have Cam on this, and so many people would go through the sort of normal channels where your management talks to their management, and then their management get back, and it takes months and months to finally get through. So we just sent her a DM on Instagram, and she replied being like, yeah, sounds good, just send me the track.
That's fantastic.
And it was just done.
Now that is just country.
It's
isn't it?
exactly how it
It's
should
the
be.
country music world, and that's why I think we love it in the country.
And I have to say, listening to Cam's voice on there, it fits with yours so well, to the point that sometimes it's actually quite difficult to distinguish that it is actually Cam.
Yeah, like when her vocals came through, we were like, oh my god, this is so exciting. We couldn't, and it was like, oh my god, she sounds like she was meant to sing this song.
I know.
So, what is next for Will Thomas? You finished your tour?
Yes,
Which
we're
I'm-
going back to Nashville in July. We've written a whole load of songs. We're planning our 5th album at the moment. We've been working on a few different projects. We've created a little Patreon page for us that we're like releasing old songs and demos that we hadn't ever been released from years ago to now. And so when we've recorded our 5th album, we'll be planning lots and lots of tours.
Brilliant.
So be back at full whammies.
hoping you're going to hit the South Coast again, because a lot of bands miss the South Coast. They do London,
Yeah.
they do Guildford, they'll do other places, but they don't tend to hit the
Can't
South
all the way
Coast.
down. And we're based near the South Coast, so it's always nice to do a gig near home.
Yeah.
So we'll try and make sure we
That's
hit the
brilliant.
South
I
Coast.
hope you do, and I hope I get an invite when you do.
Yeah.
Now, once you've done your set here at the Black Deer, are you going to be walking around with everyone else, or is that your day done? Head back home?
We'll definitely explore a
Yeah,
bit, and we
we'll
want to
have-
catch all the other musicians, so we'll be wandering around.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we see you wandering around.
Yeah.
Now, the question I ask everyone: beer, wine, whiskey, or coffee?
I mean, wine.
Wine,
obviously.
yeah, wine or beer if you've done a lot of exercise. You know,
refreshing.
a really cold beer if you've like cycled somewhere.
See, I would say cold rosé then. I'm wine through and through. I don't even drink
I think
coffee.
I'm beer and wine, which makes me more of an alcoholic.
Whiskey's far
It's
too
funny,
much for me.
That question normally is the one people find hardest to answer.
Really?
Really?
Oh, no, I'm like, definitely not whiskey, definitely not
if
coffee,
tea
definitely
was
not
on
beer.
there, we'd be tea all the way.
Yeah.
I should have put tea on this.
Yeah,
we
we
are
have
in
tea
the
or wine.
We
UK.
drink like 10 cups of tea a day, which can't be very good for you. So
Okay, now do you have a song that you'd like played on Nashville Worldwide when the interview goes out?
I mean,
You can have two. There are two of you. You're more than welcome to have two. One each.
one of our songs or
It can be.
Or any
it can be
song.
Any. Ideally country.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about we do one song? What about
This is so hard.
a Taylor Swift folklore song or something? Or a
Yeah.
Maren Morris's new album.
Okay.
What about the Humble Quest by Maren Morris?
Consider it done.
Sounds
Yeah, that
good.
It seems like that was the hardest question.
Yeah, well, it's like
Because there's
like
so
a massive
many.
catalogue
There's
of
so
songs to
many.
pick from.
And then let's play that one.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to Nashville Worldwide. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you for having
Thank you
us.
for having us.